You're now listening to Straight from the Horse's Mouth podcast.
Every dollar we make, the Guineas get 20, the police get 40, and Goldbergs get 50. Anybody can tell you that don't add up to $1. That adds up to $1 and a dime. Change gon' come. Change gon' come. Change gon' come. Change gon' come.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Change gon' come.
Let's go. Dear you, clear viewed out the window. Ever since the days of straight legs and Nintendo. I came to you to gain all the info. Even showed me pathways to walk to my kinfolks. Back at the class, made me swift with a pencil.
Yes, welcome to another episode of Straight from the Horse's Mouth podcast. I am 1/3 of your host. You can call me Black. As always, I'm here with my partners, my fellas, my dudes, my dunnies, whatever motherfuckers are calling each other these days. I'm with them. To my right, I got Sean P.
Yes, sir.
To my left, I got Lean.
What up? What up?
We also got a special guest in the building, young Eric.
Hi. I'm trying not to burp and I dropped something.
And as the tagline says, we are just three dudes on the couch talking hip-hop, sports, and life. If you would like to be a part of the conversation, you can always hit us up on our social media platforms. On Facebook, you can hit us up at Horsemouth. Yes, that's right. That's Horsemouth. On Instagram and Twitter, you can hit us up at SFTHM Podcast. That's SFTHM Podcast. Join the show. Gentlemen, let me tell you a little bit about my week. So, a while back, I told the story about how when I was like 19, I met, I was part of this theater project, and this dude was calling me Light Technician Boy. I think he won it, and I don't know how. I ain't know how to handle
He
that.
found black sexy.
Right.
I mean, no one ever accused him of being blind, but let me, but I digress. So I saw him again, and he came up to me and was like, my, you have grown. I was like, well, first of all, why?
I'm glad you noticed.
It has been 10, 15 years.
I'm like, nigga, first of all, why you always sound like you from a Tennessee Williams novel or some shit like this? He was just like, well, I'm still acting. Are you still doing like technician? I was like, nah, man. I'm in, I'm doing like, I guess I'm doing like community outreach, social
Community
work,
service.
He was like, I knew you was great I knew you was destined for great things. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, look, I showed him a picture of Langston and, Marcy. I'm like, I have my family and stuff like that. He was like, well, it's good that you made it out of the ghetto. I was like,
Man, everything this guy says is backhanded as hell.
Right. Wow.
Sorry if that was obvious, but it's equally mean.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
and I was like, yeah, I made it out of the ghetto. So that's how my week was. I don't have anything.
I'm good, thanks.
I don't have anything interesting to say. So, gentlemen, how y'all week was? What's been going on with you, Eric? You wanna chime in, brother?
It was shitty, and that's fine. It was a week to think about things and think about the state of the world, and just revel in what we're going through. And it sucked, and it should suck. So that was my week.
Yeah.
So just a reminder, folks, Eric usually comes on the second show of the week.
He will be.
Well,
He
he
will
will
be
be.
coming
It's
on the
gonna
second
be
show of the
next
week. Thank you. I need my partners to correct me. In the meantime, shut the fuck up.
Also, on that note, by the way, thank y'all for having me on your show. I'm a huge fan.
You're
Yeah,
always
man,
Thank
cool,
you for
man.
bringing me on.
And he's one of our political commentary. He's here to deliver political commentary. In a segment we like to call what, P?
And we're gonna call it Eric's political commentary. That was on the fly right there. He just threw me in the alley. I wasn't even in the air.
The way
Which way the winds blow.
Oh, which way the winds blow?
Which
Okay,
way the
yeah, I
winds
wasn't
blow.
prepared for that.
the second show of every month.
The second show of every month. So Eric will be joining us. But gentlemen, that's how my week was. What's been going on with y'all? Well, first of all, before we get into that, though.
What you got to say, Black?
That was a pump fake. He's like, I'm going to pass it.
No pump fake. I ain't never going to pass.
He's a ball hog.
Right.
What you trying to say? I'm
Come on,
James
John
Harden?
Wall. Come on, John Wall.
I am not James
You're going to
Harden.
fall in the house, watch.
Nah, Elaine, what was that we were playing, man? Oh.
Before you answer, let me tell you about this other song I heard.
Hold up. That was Hassan Mackey and Apollo Brown. It's called
Hassan Mackey.
and Apollo Brown. That's called Dollar Bill Hill. It's off the album Daily Bread. Came out in 2011. If you haven't heard of Apollo Brown, do your research. He's a producer out of Detroit, Michigan. He got a lot of material. Dope producer, also MCs. Collaborated with a lot of people. Definitely look him up. Man. Yeah, he's a dope artist.
With a name like Apollo Brown, you got to be bringing that fire.
So,
seriously.
Can I just say, like, the quote in the beginning, man, that provoked a little thought. This is
Go ahead, bro.
2 seconds, I wrote it down. I was thinking, like, who you helping? This is not a brand new thought at all, but it came to me a little different. Like, who you helping? Like, I think about how, like, the police, like, arrest people that sell drugs, and they arrest people that use drugs with the same amount of compassion or the same lack of compassion. So, like, you really don't care. So who you helping, and why does it matter? And it really boils down to, like, drug dealers make money, so that's economic freedom. So it's really suppressing economic freedom is what it is. Because you really don't care about the drug dealers or the users. You just don't want nobody to get money, which equals freedom later on. So anyway, there we go. I'm done. I'll walk away
That
from
is
that.
Peace Thought of the Week.
Yeah, man. We'll call that.
Peace thought of the week.
Yeah, man. That ain't no brand new thought, but it was just, it hit me different.
Some may say it wasn't a thought at all. But
All right. F you.
So my week was my week actually started off a little bit stressful, man. My daughter got sick. Lincoln was sick.
oh, okay.
Sorry to hear that.
And she's never, well, she didn't do daycare until she was 18 months, so she wasn't really sick at all. And she's very, like, full of energy. So on, like, Monday, where she was just, like, out of it, it was just like, all right, something's up. Like, you could tell her she's not being herself. So long story short, I had to keep her out for 2 days. Had a little virus, but she's over it now, and she's back to herself.
Who stayed with her?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's the funny thing, right? I was going to stay with her Monday. Arelis was going to go to work. So then I turned around. Arelis had stayed off, too. I said, well, I could have went to work.
Right.
And then say that sick day and then stayed off Tuesday. So she wound up staying off, too.
Right.
So I wound up staying off Tuesday as well. You know, the good thing is I was able to get a lot of stuff done. You know what
Everything
I mean?
happened for a reason.
Yeah. I was able to go up to my house, see what's going on.
Right. And
That's
Arelis could keep
How's the
Lincoln.
house going?
Yeah. I keep saying I said 2 weeks away,
Hey,
4 weeks away, but really, like, today I went out, I was telling y'all before we started taping that I went out and picked my granny. So that's 2-3 weeks in, but everything else is done. Yeah, I should really 2 to 3 weeks.
Are they going to be working while you still in there? Like when you move back in?
Yeah, because they still got to work on the basement. There's still going to be little touch-up work that they're going to have to do, but once they finish, like once the electrical work gets put in and gets finished and the plumbing gets in, I can move in. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm thinking 2-3 weeks.
That's what's up.
props on even being able to do that.
Yeah, man.
That's the dream now.
Yeah.
Owning the home, baby.
Like,
a home ownership, it's a dope home too. It was dope before. I don't even know what it looks like now. But
yeah.
I was saying that. I was talking to my man. Big up. I gotta throw a big up to my man G from New York. That's like my dude from like 25 years. So we haven't talked for a while, but you know, he one of them guys that even if we don't talk, when we do, like nothing never changes, right? I could not talk to G for 5 years,
right?
And when we talk, it's
ain't
like
no love
we
lost.
ain't right. Nothing skips a beat. So, so I was talking to him about that, and I was like, when you come down, you're not even gonna recognize it. You know what I'm saying? So, so I'm trying to get him down here actually to be a co-host on the show.
Okay.
But yeah.
What kind of what his specialty is?
Arguing.
About everything sports.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Anything that you say, he gonna say the opposite.
No.
Anything you say.
Like for real.
Like
man landed on the moon. Nah, son.
There ain't no such thing as the moon.
No, I'm saying for real. Like,
Son, have you seen it for real? For real?
Like for real? That's not even the moon up there, bro.
That's
a
what's up, G.
motherfucking
Slow down,
flashlight.
G.
Stanley Kubrick made it.
Yeah, that's my man. That's my man, though. But yeah, I'm trying to get him down here.
He said the opposite of what I say. All right, Pete, what's going on with you, baby?
Man, what is going on with me, man? I'm trying to quit a job, man.
God damn, you just started this motherfucker.
No, I'm trying to quit one of the little part-times, man.
How many part-times you got?
2. So I'm trying
2 part-times and a full-time.
Right.
Okay.
So you basically got 2 jobs.
So let me ask you this: how are you trying to quit?
Yeah.
You just
Yeah. Well, I gotta have the notes done, and like, so also I haven't told him I quit yet. I want to get the notes done and get my little check. My plan is to just like, get my little check and run. Like I'm turning in notes, which is money, and I'm just gonna tell them like, y'all, whatever y'all can do with that, do it. But I got a check still there, so I'm just gonna get that check and just.
And what brought that? You doing it because of the time, because of the energy, because it ain't worth it financially?
Yeah,
you need to spend time with Hayes.
Well, I just need to have time. I don't have time to see all the people. It's way too many people to see. It's like they reduced it to 18, but it was 28 people, and I'm seeing like 40 for Capital Caring. Supposed to see 40, but some of them don't want to see social workers, so it's not the whole 40. But I'm responsible for 40 and responsible for another 14 somewhere else. So these are people that I have to stay in contact with, and some of them, are more needy than others, and those needy ones burn me out, man. So, yeah.
You still getting folks doing your notes?
No, I've been going hard.
So
with
you're
that,
not down.
And that's why I wasn't able to do
committing a felony.
That's
You
why
find out black is snitching.
Yeah, are you still fraud?
Are you still doing fraud?
You heard him sound? He sound like God too.
All right, so you leaving that job, what is it gonna allow you to do?
I'm gonna have more time. Like I'll be able to manage my time a lot better. Like it'll be more manageable. Right now, it's like I'm busting at the seams with stuff I need to do.
Can I chime in here? Just
go right ahead, man. That's what we're waiting on.
Like, this is the kind of person that we want to be doing more social work, and we're burning out our social workers and making them work multiple jobs so that they lose their passion and lose their will to do it. So let's just let's stop doing that, please.
What's the
That's
solution?
not sustainable.
What's the solution?
Pay this dude a living wage so he can work one job and do it really well. Please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bullshit. I hate that.
Pay that man.
Sorry.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what's been going on with us. You tell us what's been going on with you if you want to join this conversation. You can find us on several social media. You can find us on several social media platforms.
All the major
every
all the
platform
major
we are.
Every platform where we listen: iTunes, Spotify.
I just watched on iHeartRadio yesterday. I made Janae watch. She was mad at me.
Really?
She's like, I want to watch on my own time. I was like, all right, this your time right here.
All right, gentlemen. What's been going on in the world today? What? Ralph Northman.
Hold up. You gotta do the proper introduction to the segment.
Okay.
Just jump right in it.
Well, so the name of the segment is called Which Way the Wind Blows. Our political contributor, Mr. Eric, he's going to let us know what's going on with Ralph Northman. And he's just going to give us a little commentary with what he think. And he's going to answer a few questions that we may have.
Okay. God, I hate this so much. So, like, full disclosure here, I did some work, like light work, but still work, thought out work of making the calls from DC and doing the things that us non-constituents can do to get someone elected. And I got either one of those two people in the photo in that yearbook from a 28-year-old man in med school elected. So in some, whichever influence that had, however much you can measure that in, which is negligible, but that's besides the point. I contributed to this dude being elected, so I want that to be
full disclosure.
Yeah. So
we don't personally blame you.
No.
I mean, I can't speak for P.
Seeing this stuff come out, the conversations that have around this are just so misguided, and I just kind of want to start off by saying, all three dudes involved in this scandal, I'm usually a person of political nuance, and I like to think things through. But when it comes to sexual violence and racism, there's no gradual change here. You just got to get these dudes out and get them out for good. And there's I don't know what else to really say about this. This is not. I have talked with people about this, tried to have conversations, and it's not really the kind of thing you have conversations about. At some point, this has to stop. This is the way I feel. Yeah. And I'm curious about how y'all feel as well.
Well, let me ask you a question, because I think the thing that's choppy about it is, have you ever seen it happen like this? Three people
in a line of succession.
The lieutenant governor and
the secretary of state.
That feels like I don't remember it being like that.
So no, I think what's happening is we're actually watching politics now,
right.
Yeah.
And we're watching a bunch of someone rolled the log over and all this shit's coming out.
Right. Those are the maggots under the log.
But this has been there the whole time. What's really shocking is knowing the extent of it and seeing how thorough it is. And, these are two different, the two things that are just, they feed into larger issues. But, sexual violence and racism in the Democratic Party, does there not need to be an alternative? That's what I'm so worried about here is, the idea that,
Also, the focus has to be, they cannot fuck this up in Virginia, because the focus is to beat Trump in 2020, right?
Yes.
And if the Democrats alienate the African Americans that put Northam over the top, if they decide to stay home in 2020, it's a wrap.
That is and I would argue we shouldn't be concerned with the politics of this.
That's
I feel
even the morality of it.
It's at some point, what do you say? There's a I always hear this. Well, we let the Republicans get away with it, so why do we have to be weak? Because this isn't weakness. It's strength to eject these motherfuckers from these positions that are a privilege. It's a privilege to serve. And you are serving constituents that, why would they trust you?
You're supposed to serve the constituents. They end up serving lives.
Right.
I think Liam said it last week that you disqualify yourself if you dress in blackface.
So,
you
if
can't
you dress in blackface, if you assault a woman,
you disqualify yourself.
I was having this conversation yesterday. I was talking with my sister, and it was all right, you did these things. Why the hell are you running for political?
Right.
That's
go
a bit of
somewhere.
arrogance. That's arrogance.
Put your head in the sand and do something. You can do something that's not going to put you
support
out
the
there.
governor.
Well, Lee, what have you ever put in a yearbook that you didn't want to be out there?
Right.
And then the thing is, it was on your page, and you trying to say it wasn't you. Why didn't you got to remember at least seeing this picture the year it came out. You saw it the year it came out. You supposed to be outraged then. You could have been like, yeah, I remember when it came out.
You should have been upfront with it.
It made me upset. But you saying you don't remember it and it's your face? Why is it's on your page? It's not like it's just in the yearbook that you're in.
That's egregious. Egregious.
Yeah.
Like that's not.
It's on your page.
Small.
Wasn't his
Where you
nickname
don't remember.
Coon? I mean, you should have known from the beginning. If you got a governor, a dude that's running for governor, and his nickname was Coon, a term of endearment that his friends gave Ralph Coon Norton. That should have tipped the nigga off.
Well, I mean, that might mean he might have been sympathetic to black people then, though, for real.
If somebody's sympathetic to black people, I don't want the name Coon.
They might call him that because that's who he like a.
That's who he like.
Well,
yeah, it could be.
Tony, like if he's sympathetic to black people, then why hasn't he resigned?
Yes.
At some point, like this seems like the gesture is not
Agreed.
to come from your perch right now and say, well, I'm going to do something on your behalf after I fucked up and didn't disclose
He met
anything
with a farmer,
and
man.
let this happen.
He met with a farmer.
Well, like all is forgiven then.
A black farmer.
What? Well.
I didn't tell you
shit.
that. So then, yeah.
That is a plot twist that none of us could see coming.
I met with a dude that would have sharecroppers in his family.
Right. It's just know that.
Yeah.
Just know that at this point, if I was a Virginia voter, I just couldn't have faith in someone that I knew.
I get that.
You know, but
Then on the flip side,
here's the funny part.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not even gonna say funny, but remember we talked about this last week, and I think P had brought it up. This was after the recording, and he was talking about how if you did something when you was a certain age, right? How does it? Are you still that same person?
Yeah.
You know, 20 years later.
I
So
said that on
this
the show.
like.
So
You
if
said
he
you
wanted to,
did
prove,
the show?
if he
Like,
wanted
like-
to prove that he was not that same person, then he should resign.
I think that's the answer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry if I'm speaking so sloppily here, but like,
That's-
I really want to drive home that would be an act of caring.
Right.
Yeah.
An act of like resignation is an act of like
Right.
showing shame,
Yeah,
like showing atonement, and then you work your ass off
To try to get the favor again.
and not
And not to say
politically.
political
Right,
office
not
is not.
politically,
I mean,
right.
not to say the political office is off the table, but you got a lot of work to do in the community before
Yes.
you get back to before you can regain the public
You
trust.
gotta prove yourself.
Yeah.
What you
I
was-
know.
And that's
what
going
you
to
was
be
saying,
years.
though?
That's going to take years.
Yeah.
No,
If there's any time
and he
frame,
shouldn't be offended that some people will never forgive him for that, and he has to reconcile himself with that shit.
right.
So, like, in kind of getting just kind of wrapping up a discussion about like the politics of this is like kind of one of those segments that I think to start off, whichever way the wind blows, that this is kind of beyond politics in some way, and if we are like I don't want to say whether like Democrat and Republican, like let's not focus the discussion on that. Let's say like
What's
if
more,
we are
right?
if you are of the Democratic affiliation or you consider yourself progressive, then this is like a good time to kind of I would say put pressure on people to finally draw a line where you say like no, this is like if you're going to show who we aren't, which is just as important as who you are.
Right.
This is where you draw the line. This is a good time to do it.
Yeah, we
and
can.
yeah,
I'm just saying we can't have the moral high ground if we allow this gentleman to stay in office, and we can't say anything against Trump.
100%. And
And
also,
that-
let's
and
not
that
see this
goes
as a
with-
political tool.
Yeah, and that goes with it's more about what's morally right, what's just,
And that's we all owe each other that.
and that's the same with Justin Fairfax. Are you guys familiar with what's going on with him? Eric, would you like to share a little light on what's going on with Mr. Justin Fairfax?
So yeah, I'm sorry for the lack of detail here, but
It's okay.
Justin Fairfax was Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax, who's someone again with the disclosure, like we made some calls on behalf of, and I was really enthusiastic about. He has been accused of sexual assault And there was some in Oppo research. There was some stuff done by the Washington Post. Actually got hold of this story. I think that dates back to 2004, if I'm not wrong. And while Justin Fairfax, when he initially came out against the sexual assault accusation, he said that he mischaracterized what the Washington Post said, which was not that they had nothing, but that they had some inconclusive research on this, and decided not to publish the story. But since then, a second person has come out, and this is going back to the issue that we saw in the Kavanaugh hearing and everything. If we're going to be consistent in saying that we believe women, this is the exact kind of case where you ask the people that what they went through. This is when it's time to highlight, their accusations are no different here. If you really care about it, then you want to know. You want to know the answer, one way or the other. And
so progressives can't say we believe women when it happens to Republicans, but don't
because that's so much bigger than politics.
Yeah,
right.
So much belief. I mean,
and it's two. I mean, it started off as the one. Now it's somebody.
Yeah. I think we have to take that seriously.
We have to. Like your character at this point.
We have to.
And I didn't want to. Like I felt that resistance in me too. Like I felt myself being like even that I think that thing you get when you like believe in someone and you're excited about someone politically and you see something that they represent the people in some way, and it's disqualifying.
And again, as Eric said, this is beyond politics. It's about a moral issue. It's a referendum on who we are as people, as opposed to, what's the political expedient thing to do.
And again, with my self-disclosure,
I
remember with Justin Fairfax, when old girl came out the same night that Ralph Northam got, they were asking him to resign. I was like, whoa, look at the timing.
That's like some Godfather shit.
But then I had to think about the same thing with Kavanaugh. It was the same thing. He was like the old girl. That was like 25 years. Yeah. It was the same thing with timing. But I at that point, I was just like, yeah. And I was easily justifying Kavanaugh. I was like, well, he's running for Supreme Court. It's the highest court in the nation. He needs to be vetted. And this is a proper vetting. But it's the same thing because Justin Fairfax was running on morality to try to become the next governor.
Right.
So, you can't be saying you're moral and then you got these accusations.
Right. Exactly.
And if something will be proven later on, but the perch of political office and the influence you have, let's show some separation here. Let's show we've got ideals and things that we, draw a line at. And even if these people that are being accused of it, if that's where they draw the line, then they will find a way to get back in the public's good graces by their good actions if they didn't do it.
All right. And that's Which Way the Wind Blows. Which Way the Wind Blows is brought to you by Heineken. It's not, no,
it's okay-ish.
Right. It's not brought to you by Heineken. We want to thank Eric for coming in.
Thank y'all.
Eric's gonna be here once a month. So
once a month.
Y'all gonna get to know Eric real well.
That's what's up.
Thank you all so much.
But you gonna stick around.
You gonna stick around.
We got a couple things. We got the P-Top.
The Podcst Top 5
coming up.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
He looked at the clock like,
no, I have my list.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a list. We're gonna work it out.
Because now I'm drunk enough that it's necessary.
That's the thing. You do the show, you drink.
Speaking
if you watch the show,
I've been drunk this whole show, by the way.
That's a great segue. What's the whiskey in the mouth?
We got Elijah Craig, man. It's still winning, man. So the thing with Elijah Craig, the interesting little fun fact that we're gonna share today is that due to their popularity, their thing was that the barrels were aged for 12 years. But due to their popularity, they couldn't do the 12-year thing. They couldn't keep putting that on there because
people wanted it now.
Yeah. So the barrels now range from 8 to 12 years, and you don't know the years. So therefore, people kind of were talking trash about that. personally, for me, Elijah, we ain't got no problems, man. I don't want no smoke, Elijah. It's good to me. Matter of fact, we appreciate the smoky taste that you providing. So yeah,
that's what's up. That's what's up. All right. Our next thing we're gonna talk about, gentlemen. P's punk ass top 5.
Yeah.
P's
punk ass top 5.
Please talk about why you picked this, because this is black. He's sentimental right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of hurt. The reason why the P's punk ass top 5 is this week is going to be top 5 athletes that career was cut short due to injury. And the reason why I feel this way because I'm sentimental. I'm putting up a shot right now for the DC hero John Wall.
Damn it.
He just he ruptured his Achilles in his house. I mean, at least that's what he say.
Right.
And most folks don't come back from that. If anybody, if he comes back, that will be good, but the odds are he ain't gonna come back.
If Kobe didn't do it?
Yeah. And Kobe's a far better player than John Wall.
Oh, wow.
I hate to say.
Wow.
So this week's P's punk ass top 5 is top 5 athletes. Top 5 athletes that did not come back from an injury. And I guess I'll start with myself. Number 1, the gentleman I just mentioned, John Wall. I know it's too soon, but most folks don't come back from Achilles. But what John Wall meant to the city, what he did for Barry Farms, passing out turkeys and stuff like that, I think his career has been cut short with this injury. John Wall. My next one is Gilbert Arenas.
Injury.
Now, if
you talking mental health?
Injury. I mean, granted, his mental health was kind of fucked up. I mean, a sane motherfucker don't put shit in a nigga's shoe.
Yeah.
But
he was a beast, though.
I think
when he goes to the gym, he was mean.
Yeah, I think Gilbert Arenas was good God. Elijah Craig got me again. Gilbert Arenas. I think Gilbert. Gilbert Arenas was James Harden light. He had sort of a similar game to James Harden. I think if he played in this era, he would be just as prolific of a scorer as James Harden. And his career was cut short due to injury. This is an all DC joint, man. The third one, RG3.
Yeah.
You don't go from winning Rookie of the Year and almost beating Seattle. It's so funny because I say those two franchises went in two different directions once he hurt his knee. Seattle wound up winning that playoff game, and they went the following few years later they went to the playoff. I mean, they went to the Super Bowl. RG3 was Rookie of the Year. He put a team on his back. I think our team would have been much better if RG3 didn't get hurt.
Can I make a comment on that?
Go ahead.
What's funny is that I remember watching that game and saying it was obvious he was hurt.
Yeah.
Right, why he's
I was
playing.
like, why they ain't taking him out?
I think he didn't want to come out.
And I remember he went, and this was what's his name that coached Denver?
Mike
Shanahan.
Right, so
he's known for that.
Terrell
Davis.
So right.
Yes, that was my third one.
So when I saw him, I was just like, wow.
Sorry.
So I remember that. That was definitely a shame.
RG3 could have been. I mean, he could have changed the game if he didn't get hurt. My next one, Terrell Davis. Now, granted, Terrell Davis is in the Hall of Fame, but just imagine how prolific Terrell Davis would have been if he did not get hurt. Lastly, I'm going to pick. This is an all DC one with the exception of what's his name? Damn, I just mentioned him. Terrell Davis. Michael Westbrook. Do y'all know who that is?
Oh yeah.
It was a wide receiver for Colorado, right? He came to the Redskins. He was like a big wide receiver. The receivers that you see now, big, fast, everything. But his career was cut short due to injury. So that is my P's punk ass top. That's my punk ass top 5 for athletes who career was cut short due to injury.
Okay. So you got coming next? You want me to go next?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I got first on my list, Anthony Hardaway.
Oh. That's a good one.
I remember when Anthony came into the league, like, he was magic more than, like...
Yeah, he was more
6'9",
magic than magic.
Handle, shot, you know, the Orlando Magic.
A new kind of player.
You just knew that he was going to be the dude in a couple years. For those who don't remember, they made it to the championship, him and Shaq. They got swept by Houston, but they was really, 2 years, 3 years in the league or something like that.
Yeah, from like their expansion.
Right.
Yeah, like a brand new team. They just stuck for 10 years.
So yeah, Anthony Hardaway. The next person, this is a sentimental one, Bernard King. Being a Knicks fan, I remember Bernard King. Like, he was the man in New York, and when he hurt his knee, like, he was just never the same after that. He wound up going to the Wizards.
Yeah, he had that baseline jumper. That jumper was sick.
And when he came back, he was still good, but he wasn't like that guy. Like, I remember that game he had, the Knicks. It was the Knicks against Detroit. Him and Isaiah Thomas going back and forth. Like, Bernard was the truth. So I got him. Next one I got is Tracy McGrady.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yep.
Tracy McGrady is a beast. Yeah. Like, at the time, you thought he was the dude in the NBA.
He was better than Kobe.
Better than Garnett.
That's what I was going to say.
When they were head to head, he was better than Kobe.
That's
Like how you
what
talk
I'm saying. That's exactly why I put him here. I said he was the guy at the time.
Yeah.
Yo,
the kid.
it
2
was
years.
Tracy.
It was sick, man.
Never seen any guy that athletic since.
You think? I mean, the size. What is he? He's bigger than
6'8",
like,
6'9". Yeah.
Could do everything.
Yeah. Dunk on
And he came out when he was in high school.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys.
2 block shots
I mean,
in
he
his
was
sophomore
6'8"
season.
with John Wall type speed.
You think it was because he went to his teams, like play for nobody? What do you think?
Nah, it's because he got hurt.
Nah, knee injuries in basketball, they're devastating.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't come back from knee injuries.
Like, I mean, he didn't get that opportunity to put it together. Like, when he didn't get that opportunity to mature, like Jordan matured, like Kobe matured, like Shaq matured,
he
like
went
Magic
from Toronto
matured.
to Houston.
Yeah.
And then once his knee injury happened.
When he had to be the dude because he was supposed to be like a partner in tandem with Yao Ming, another guy that could be on a list.
Exactly.
And he had to take on the full bulk.
Right.
Yeah.
The next guy I got is Larry Johnson.
Oh damn.
Mama.
Y'all remember him?
Yes.
He had that 1 4-point play when they were rare.
Whoa, but once he hurt his back,
Yeah.
right?
That's why the Knicks got him in the first place.
I mean, he was still.
I mean, think how dynamic how you had to be a 6'4" or 6'5" power forward.
Was he that short?
Yes, he was short.
Yeah, he was about 6'5".
Really?
Yeah.
He projected 7'5".
But you know why? Because his arm. They said his arms were so long. It's like his arm span was like a 7-footer. He had long
That
arms.
makes sense. Yeah.
But I remember him in Charlotte. I remember I loved him as a Knick. Like I love everything Knick. So
Yeah.
But he definitely wasn't himself with that back injury.
Yeah,
I
I remember
just wonder
him.
what he could have been without it. Because he was a
Absolutely.
crazy athlete.
Like being a Wizard fan, you see all the great players, and you get You have painful memories, but good players make you have pain. I remember Larry Johnson grabbed a rebound on the Wizards and yelled the whole time and dunked it. It was like, ah!
The Hornets were a cool ass team. Like 92, 93, that was the cool team to like.
Yeah, definitely.
And my last one, Jason Williams. The Jason Williams that came out of Duke, that went to Chicago, had the car, had the motorcycle accident.
Not white chocolate.
Like
Not white chocolate. Not white chocolate.
For the Kings that almost should
like
have won
he
the
just
championship
never
that year.
won. Like first of all, in Duke he was a beast. Then he went to
Yeah.
Chicago that first year, his rookie year. So
Chicago.
you just don't know what he could have been, but I know that he was nasty. So I put him as put him on my top 5.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Who's next? Who's next?
Okay,
Am I going? All right. So in no particular order, I also put Jay Williams on there, and it was just kind of like, I remember probably midway through his rookie season, he put up a game, like a game I watched live when I was probably a freshman or sophomore in college, where he had like a sick triple-double. It was something, like, I'm probably exaggerating, but it was something like, I feel like it was 30 points, 15 rebounds, 15 assists, 8 steals.
You're not exaggerating, man. That happened.
I think it happened, though. I think it did happen.
It's not a dream.
And, like, what, like that summer, I guess, like, he rides a crotch rocket. I might be making up stuff. Did he ride into a fire hydrant or something? I don't remember. But, like,
I think.
a tree, and it's just, like so preventably tragic, and I think became kind of like, in some ways, he served as a cautionary tale to put more money into player development and people that are going to be looking out for you, for these young dudes that, you know, all of us were assholes when we were 19, 20 years old, and if you gave any of us 19 or 20-year-old people in the world that hadn't come from that, like a $10 million in a year, we'd probably do the same thing.
Right.
So, you know, course correction there. Second, Bo Jackson. I just think about what cool things he could have done, because I think that was the best athlete in human history. And I like, you know, the stuff I pictured him doing, he probably could have actually done. Like, he probably could have done that thing they do in cartoons where you walk on, like, a bunch of people's heads into the end zone. He would have done that, and it would have been, like, natural, and it would have just kind of been something that happened once, and he moved on to something else.
Imagine Bo Jackson just not playing, just going straight into the NFL.
Oh,
That's the other.
Like, how much
that's
we
how it should have been.
missed,
We missed
man.
everything, because what I think he was 28 maybe when he was done, and maybe 30. But like, when you have that, like, athleticism that's that stacked,
Right.
with a dynamic personality that gets the most out of that kind of athleticism, we missed out on some cool shit.
Hey, P, Bo knows this.
And Bo knows that. I put a Bo nose sticker. I got it out of like the honeycomb box and put it on my refrigerator. Like we didn't have one of the refrigerators that like had a bunch of stickers. We had 0 stickers.
But
I put that on there, man. That's the only sticker that was on there. I didn't even get in trouble either, though.
Let me say one more thing before you finish up, Eric.
Yeah.
He also has one of the dopest. I'm a sneakerhead for those who don't know.
I was gonna say it. That's what I was saying.
And he has one of the dopest sneakers.
Oh no! Okay, good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what's up.
You can. Yo,
I lied about having them.
I'm looking for another pair right
Bo
now.
Jackson.
Bo
Because I
Jackson?
had them back in the day.
Them joints probably $1,000.
I'm guessing you'd be
man.
wearing them if you had them, so you have not gotten them.
I don't have them. I'm gonna have them by this summer.
Yeah, they go hard.
Can we help you out? Can we do a
Dopest
Kickstarter?
sneakers, some of the dopest
Right.
sneakers.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. I mean, I remember his commercials, and even when he got hurt, it was that commercial where they focused in on his hip, and there was like this little thing that was rolling his hip. I was like, Bo's gonna be back, and
Nope.
Bo never came back.
Never happened, man. Really depressing story all around.
Yeah.
A loss. This one has flown under the radar over the years, I think. But like Brandon Roy.
Brandon Roy.
Brandon Roy was clutch. I don't know if y'all remember watching him. He was on the Blazers. I think.
Oh yeah.
Really was.
He was a trail. He was
For the 5 or so years he
Yeah.
played from his rookie season, like
That's
through the
so
end of his
good.
career, like this guy would always hit the shot. He was amazing. He was good at everything. He was like, he could run an offense. He could play D. He could do everything, and he's probably one of the top 5 players in the NBA. But if you're going 2-way, like one of the very best, like top 3.
And Portland was like right there.
Almost,
Yeah,
yes.
they had a-
I
yes.
remember
That's a good.
They had
It was a real bummer.
They had a good team.
And it was kind of a voluntary, like this is a guy that kind of is a legend to me because he could have stuck it out and become a mediocre player. Like, he would have still been an above-average player if he just gave it all he had and decayed in front of us. But he kind of put his health first, and like, I don't know what he's doing now, but like, I assume that dude is doing some good stuff, and he's a legend to me. So had to throw him in there.
Brandon Roy.
This one is way before any of our times, but
Curly Neal.
Tony Conigliaro from the Red Sox. This was one of the fastest guys to 100 home runs, I think, in history. Probably like stacks up against the top rookies ever these days. And his career ended because he got beamed in the face really hard, and it just fucked him up beyond belief. And so like a brain injury ended this guy's career in a game. So I think that was like, I don't care about this guy. I don't care about the Red Sox. Yeah. But like, it just seems remarkable to me when I was doing a little bit of pre-show research. That's how a dude's career ended. And I think it kind of like promoted helmet technology after that. So influential, shitty career move. And then Penny. I also put Penny.
That's what's up.
That's what that one. I think. Sorry if I'm dragging this on too long.
No,
Penny.
No. It's the show.
Penny was like, those Magic were. They could have been like the most exciting team ever. Yeah. They even were for the little brief moment before. Was it Nick Anderson that missed 4 free throws?
Yes.
That was like kind of, I don't know. That was like the fulcrum of where like that whole team fell apart.
When it died, right there.
Right. If it had died in a more normal way, that team would have, I think, continued on. But it was just such a shitty way to go out.
Yeah, I think it took. I mean, it took a lot out of all of them.
It ruined his career.
Yeah,
he was never the same.
Shaq wasn't coming back after that.
I think we've all gotten the yips. We can see how mental health affects your game.
Yes.
Whether you're playing basketball or doing anything else, but like I think that Penny was just like the guy that got injured. So the team fell apart, but Penny was going to be. We got 5 or 6 years out of him before his prime. He was down probably when he was 27, 28.
Yeah.
We would have seen some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Another kind of Bo Jackson moment to me, anyway.
Yeah.
So that's
So once again, you're listening to Straight from the Horse's Mouth podcast. This is P's Punk Ass Top 5, and of course,
the
man himself.
Yeah, man.
The Punk Ass Top 5er himself.
Yeah, man.
What's your top 5, bro?
In no particular order. I'm gonna start it off with Bo Jackson. I thought you were gonna say because of the 30 for 30. That's the best 30 for 30 ever.
Oh, so good.
Ever produced. So ever, man. Like, and when you would say the cartoon thing, remember he was talking about like how he would hit bottle caps and stuff as it's like a
from like some part of Alabama where you do that.
Yeah, like
the legend of Bo Jackson.
Yeah, and they would say like all his stuff was like legend, but it
all
really didn't happen.
Keith Jackson's voice. The legend continues.
Yeah, and then the other one is my man that's on TV right now, Sterling Sharp. He only has 6 seasons, man. You kind of forget that he was only in this season.
He was
good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
I mean, that was Brett. I mean, he the one made Brett Favre's career.
Right. And I just like his persona now, man. He flipped his career with this whole him and Skip. Was it Skip Bayless?
Well,
right?
Sterling Sharp. I mean, his brother was phenomenal.
Too.
Until he got cut short by injury.
Yeah.
Not Sterling Sharp. I mean,
you're talking about Shannon?
Shannon Sharp is the one that's on that, but Sterling
career.
Sharp is the wide receiver.
No, Sterling Sharp was the man.
Yeah. Until his career
he
got
played
cut
with
short.
Brett Favre, and he was the dude. He was like
until his career got stopped short.
In yards,
I didn't know he played only 6 seasons.
Yeah.
Because he's still a household name, kind of.
Right.
All right, the other man is Mr. Bobby Hurley from Duke. I had to throw him in the mix, man. I know y'all would say he never quite made it. Y'all would say
it's all right.
We're not laughing at the injury.
I ain't say he ain't quite made it. I said he was going to be a bum in the NBA.
he had
like eighth man.
Did he have a 30 for 30? He had a good little date line or something, man. I saw it. Was
a date line.
It was heartfelt, man.
I think it was more just kind of like.
It was all right because I think it was drunk driving.
No.
He had one paragraph in the Duke alumni book.
He played for them Duke teams that was like hated.
Yeah, when they were going up against
the Leitner teams. Yeah.
When they were going up against
Grant Hill,
Five.
But he would have never been a great NBA player, so it wouldn't have mattered what happened with him.
I got you. The other one, the other man is Greg Oden. I feel.
Oh, fuck.
I know he wasn't.
Oh.
But let me just tell you, like,
No,
Greg,
that's legit.
Greg Oden was like the Jay Electronica of NBA, man.
What you say, man? Greg Oden.
Yeah, he looked like Jay Electronica too.
Drafted
like,
ahead of Durant.
The wrinkle face dude. Yeah, I mean. He was big. I feel like he had promise, but
bum.
nobody saw him.
No, he was fucking good.
He was good in college.
Right, but I think his knees were
his career got
were
short.
Y'all look up the games he played in the pros. We missed out on something there. Of course, he turned out to be like kind of a shitty dude too. But like, Greg Oden's a legit answer. I'm gonna stick up for it there.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. And my last one would be I say Grant Hill for the same kind of reason, man. Like,
Yes.
That's a great
Absolutely.
I feel like
Damn.
never really
Is
like.
that nigga pee on fire today or what?
I just thought he never really. Everybody wanted to see Grant Hill win, man. He was just a good guy, a great athlete, but like. He
So
just
here's
kept
the-
getting
But
hurt.
also, when he was with Detroit,
Yes.
he
Yeah,
he
thought
balled.
that
He
he
balled.
was the guy.
Yeah.
Like,
So here's the thing. P, you on fire today, because usually when we have these top fives, it be some off the wall. It'd be
I was
like
trying- I was
the
still-
mighty clouds of joy.
I was
like that.
finding him, man. I do my little last minute research, man. I messed the whole this one up, but that's okay.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our last segment for today. Sierra and Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson actually bought, to help Sierra get her company off the ground, Russell Wilson bought her masters and gave them to her. And all of us in here have partners, right? Partners, significant others, lovers, whatever you want to call them. Do you think that, I guess my question is that, do you think as men, we need, should it be more using our platforms, using our resources to help our significant others achieve?
Why is it always, not always, but like, it's a partnership, man. So why does it got to be as men and all that?
Well, because
that's machismo, man.
Here's the thing.
Man, are you supposed to?
Here's the thing. The reason why I say as men is because whether we want to believe it or not, we have a certain level of privilege. And I think with that privilege,
DMX on tour, y'all.
I think with that privilege,
He said, here we
what? Here we go again. I think with that privilege, it's important that we use whatever privilege we have to promote our women. That's my humble opinion. I think him doing that is more than just what motherfuckers usually wear t-shirts. Like cherish her, protect her. He put his money where his mouth was.
What did he do though? He bought something and gave it to her.
So
he bought her songs. So you bought Marcy's shoes from and give it back to her.
No,
Did you just give her money? Did you just give her money?
I think that's equivalent to her. I think that's equivalent to you paying Tanae's tuition.
No, it's not.
Yes,
She don't own her tuition.
well, let me tell you why it's not.
Marcy own her shoes. You buy her shoes and give her money for them and give them back to her.
I think it's equivalent to, putting her in a position where she can succeed. That's a hell of a way to start your own label with your own masters.
Well, he probably could have gave her $3 million to start her own company.
Did she? Maybe she
Like,
did.
he could have gave her the money to start her own company. He just did it. But he could have
so
gave her
That would be like the equivalent of you paying.
having her masters gave her a certain amount of power.
Yes.
I guess.
Right?
He bought it from the company. He bought it from like
So
Sony.
that's even a bigger question.
He bought it from Universal. Did she own her masters?
No, she didn't.
Okay. I thought he. Okay.
No, well, let me say this.
That changes things.
Owning your own masters is a big deal.
Yes.
I thought she
It's a
already
big
owned her
fucking
own
deal.
masters. So okay.
And it does create a legacy of
Okay,
wealth.
I was under.
That's just the extent of your intellectual property.
You know,
like that's
right.
what it is. Yeah.
So you
I
can
thought
pass
she
that
already
on to
owned
your
it.
kids.
You know
can
what
pass
I'm
it,
saying?
but he probably do they have a child together?
Yes, they do.
So, but also that for
And I
his
think she
child,
has more money than him. He's just a football player.
No, she don't have no more money.
Oh. You don't think she has more money?
Hell
No way.
God
I
damn.
went to the
No way.
All y'all there.
off his playoff games alone.
No way.
He was like, nah.
No, I think it was a great thing to do.
She's
and
a
I think
pop
it was a
singer.
great
She ain't no
gesture.
football player.
I think it was a great
About
gesture.
6'7".
Yes, I think that's more than just talking about cherishing and protecting your woman. That's actually building
Yeah,
a
that's a
platform
beautiful
where
thing.
she can succeed. That's actually investing in her dream.
Do you think it would have happened the opposite?
Yeah.
How the fuck we get on the opposite?
No, I think it would have happened. I think because I feel
No,
like
I think a relationship, a marriage is a partnership.
Oh my goodness, you sound
For
like
real.
a tagline from The Sopranos.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
So I
I'm
think
with you.
right.
I do.
Yeah,
I think
feel
whoever
that.
can do it.
Do it.
Of course.
So we
of
can
course,
win
of
together.
course.
Yeah, I mean,
Of
like
course.
for me, like y'all know, I've been talking about this for a while. You know, Relis is out there and she's trying to build her practice.
Right.
And she's doing good. And definitely, like today, she sees her clients on Saturday. So guess what? On Saturday, I gotta be home and I gotta watch the girls.
Hold it down.
God
You know what I'm saying?
damn.
So that she can build.
You mean to tell me you babysitting niggas?
Well, you think it's not even when it's your kids. It's not even
It's not
babysitting. You know what I'm
babysitting.
saying?
Right.
I'm just doing.
I
what
learned
gotta
that
do.
from Pete.
Right.
But I gotta do what I gotta do if I want to invest. So as
That's
she's
what's
building
up.
her company and she got
It's an investment.
fees and she got stuff she gotta pay, I'm like, go ahead and pay it.
Right.
I mean,
I think-
a lot of stuff is combined anyway. So whatever she do, I do. So it's like, go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Ideally, I think it's just, you know, like you initially said, Pete, we all in this shit together. Whatever's best for, I mean, I don't mind investing in my partner. I think it's important that we invest because again, it's not easy for a woman in this world to navigate. It's not, things aren't given to them, and I think they need all the support they can get. Not to say they're helpless, not to say
That's what it
this.
sound like, man.
Nah, it's not to say.
They can't make it through this world, man. You gotta help them as a man.
I think that we want to stay away from saying like it's so like I think
It's not
even
that
as
they're
black men,
helpless.
it's
We gotta
hard,
gotta
right?
help
Even
them as men. We gotta help women.
Yes.
That's crap, man.
Why not,
Because I
nigga?
make a woman seem like they gotta be helped by a man.
But this fucking
That's
country is
actually-
ruled by dudes.
That's actually like
Let me say this: do
I
you
can't
need
hear
help?
myself.
Do you need help?
Of course, I need help at times.
Right. So it's more about
but
a
I
partnership.
need help. I need
It's
help.
more about the partnership.
Yes, I need help because of other things. I don't need help because I'm a man. Sometimes women need help because they're women and
No,
they don't
but
get
you
the
might
same
need help to
opportunities.
build because a lot of black men don't
But-
get the opportunity.
Exactly.
You might need help to build your
Exactly,
business.
and I still get. Listen, I'm gonna tell you a story. The job that I work at now, I'm paid a certain amount of money, and a partner I had when I was working youth, and we don't start it, motherfucker.
gallery place.
Gallery place, and this person that came in, she had just as much experience as me, right? And she wound up making maybe $5,000 less than me. The only reason why I know is because I saw her when she was doing her time. She was making $5,000 less than me. And that's at a place that's very progressive and stuff like that. So
When she get hired?
she got hired maybe 6 months after I got hired.
Did she negotiate?
Come on, man.
No,
Fuck
no.
all that.
No,
Fuck
there's a
all
lot
that
that
shit.
goes into that. I'm
All
just
that
saying,
goes-
you
I
can't just
ain't
look at.
negotiate. I just took the salary that they gave me. I'm like, yeah, just give me $500
But
more.
you don't
That's
know the
my
background.
negotiation.
You don't know the back. I mean,
How much
She had the same experience as I have. She had the same experience, and I think it was my
So I think it's your part as a guy
Yes.
to give her the difference out of your check.
I'm not giving her the different out of my check.
You say
But
you
I-
love her.
but-
You want to be equal, man.
But,
do it. It starts with you.
but I
Tony.
did say something about it.
I hope they would have took your whole check.
Why, motherfucker? Why?
Y'all, I'm gonna be the douchebag and say this is what capitalism has gotten us later.
Explain. Explain.
We're all fighting each other here and fighting people that are like our partners in not crime.
Right.
They're doing crime to us. They're taking
Right.
our money and they're siphoning it away, and we're all fighting about who's getting the scraps.
Right.
So I'm just like again, I preface this by saying I'm going to be that douchebag, and I'm just been that douchebag.
No, that is what goes on, and then they laugh. That's going on in Congress. They're doing that right now, sprinkling crumbs and because like it's people that made money
sprinkling crumbs
off the shutdown. You better believe it's a bunch of people that made money off of that.
Tony, you and that coworker should have been making $15,000 more anyway.
Exactly.
So fuck it, like.
Right.
You're not getting fairly paid.
Cheers to you, bro.
Just to get back to the subject, though.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what are you willing to do for your partner?
That's the question of the day. What are you willing to do?
I'll do whatever, man.
What sacrifices are, and this is for you too, Eric, what sacrifices are you willing to make, or have you made for your partner?
Talk about right.
Yeah. I would love to be like the sole breadwinner. That's the thing I would like to do. This because I know how much in like enrichment you get as a child with the one-on-one interaction. And like even right now, like I can see how Hayes he responds to Tanae because he with her so much.
Who is
better.
Hayes? Just to remind.
That's my son, man. So she come in the room and he'll be like tracking her.
Big head Hayes.
Boy, hey, my man ain't got no shoulders. Bless his little heart. You can't see. I be taking pictures. I'm like, he got like this much shoulder, dog. And his head he's in the 99th percentile, man.
I like
smart.
Hayes though. He's
smart, man. He gonna be smart.
So is that what you're going for?
Well, see, it's a couple of things in play. Like she got this loan repayment thing that she gotta work to get, and she already did half of it, and she got like another 8 months or something before she's done with that. But yeah, that would be my goal because and of course I think she would want to do her own thing too, like have something like do like a private practice or something and see people.
That's what's up.
My goal would be to sacrifice and just to do that because like I feel like I would feel good doing it. I think like right now it's working well.
See, God damn it, P, that's what I'm talking about, brother.
Right now it's going well.
I changed him.
It's going well in that she's able to like be more hands-on throughout the day. But if she has to split that up with the same stress that I'm having of a job, I just know that'll be
right.
So that right now my stress meets her peace, and so if my stress meets her stress, it could be bad. So anyway. On to you,
So who's your partner? If you feel comfortable naming who your partner is.
Yeah, Lena. Shout out to Lena. Which leads into, I can't think of a single sacrifice I've really had to make for Lena, because she, I think as Lena was saying, this is a partnership. We both have areas we're strong and weak in. It just so happens that they're not the same, and that's maybe the best thing about a partnership, is that we're filling in each other's the areas where we're weak, the other person is strong, but it wouldn't require that. There's times where we're both being weak, and it requires a lot of understanding everything. I will say that Lena's, I am not the breadwinner, and I will never be. She is way more successful than I could possibly be. So when we're talking about sacrifices, the only sacrifices I really make are occasionally just kind of abandoning my own selfishness. Every once in a while I think about what I was like. I think it's a good rule of thumb to think you sucked 2 years ago.
That's a good, That means you're improving.
We've all got to be improving. That shouldn't stop.
You're getting better at life, so good, yeah.
So I can look back at things where I've just kind of she's been a constant barometer of how much I suck, and it's just kind of oh, well, this time I didn't do something completely shitty, so that's improvement, and you move toward the center, and then... And then you get to the point where you can actually make sacrifices for the other person.
Right.
So maybe I'll have something to offer down the line. But for right now, I'm just...
You're talking trash, but you got to be bringing
I was going to say, we need to have her on the show. Right. She's going to be like, Eric,
he does anything I tell him to do. He makes me breakfast. He makes up the bed.
I do. I will say, this won't embarrass her. Lena, you suck at cooking, and I'm glad I can offer something here.
That's just hot.
All right, you about to mess up, Lean.
Lean. What's up, bro?
I think honestly, my relationship is a 100% partnership. I mean, we got everything combined, right? We combine our finances, we combine everything. So, like,
y'all look businesses, motherfucker.
Like,
you ever seen the two of them together?
Like, literally, like, we handle our business. Like, I'll be like,
they serious
right,
as a motherfucker,
so for a year, right, we had one car. So I used to have to pick her up from work, drive her home, and in there we would talk business and talk about stuff. So she was kind of on the fence about trying to start her own thing, and I'm like, all right, so what's it gonna cost? She tell me, I'd be like, all right, so call them right now while we're in the car, and do that.
That's what you're good at.
You're
good at that. You're good at that.
And let's go ahead and do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think what I offer her, first of all, is just the support. I think, you know, financially, I'm all in with her.
Right.
You know, we're constantly planning. We're constantly doing that. Like, that's just how we do. So it's just like, all right, we're going to do this. Yeah. Like I was telling y'all before, you know, she's starting her private practice, and guess what? Most of her clients is on Saturday. So, so I got to watch the kids. Guess what? I'm there on Saturday to watch the kids all day until she get home. You know what I'm saying? So that she can do her thing. So, you know, I think it's 100% partnership. So I think that's how I contribute. Just really supporting her, giving her ideas. Like, you know, if she need help with billing, I'm like, let me learn the billing. Let me do that. I can take that off your head. You know, let me take that off your plate so that you can just see clients and make your money. And I'll do the billing part of it. Like, so.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
It's awesome.
And follow-up calls and
right, so there's a lot we can do, you know.
You can do a nose for Pete.
But I've also like hooked up because I know a lot of people in the field, so I know other therapists.
So you use your contacts.
I've linked her with people so that they can have lunch and have.
That's the perfect example of using your platform to help your partner.
I'm honestly her number one cheerleader. Like, I want her to succeed. You know what I'm saying?
It's awesome.
That's
how it should be.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think the two of you together make a superhero.
You know,
that's the goal.
We trying.
All right. See, what can I say? Me and Marcy, we view our relationship as a partnership. We, one of the things that we had a talk one time, and I was like, look, is, you know, and a lot of times, a person's past relationship can seep over into their current relationship.
For sure.
And if this person didn't have a voice in their relationship, their previous relationship, it's hard for them to have a voice in their new relationship. And that's something that you have to constantly work on. I won't say, in the beginning, I constantly had to tell Marcy, like, hey, Marcy, look, this is a partnership. It's not, I'm the CEO and you in the mailroom. Nah, bro. We make decisions together about this household, the direction of this household.
You told her that, right?
Yeah.
That's right. You listen to me. You were going to make some decisions.
God damn it, you going to make some motherfucking decisions. But no, I think as men, you know, we need to create an environment where, and I tried to do that in my home where my partner, she felt safe enough to, because in the beginning it was difficult for her because of past relationships. I created an environment that she felt safe, that her voice, her opinion, her thoughts mattered.
Well, let me tell you something. The thing I've learned, women run the household.
Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah.
Like,
whether even if they make more money than us, they run the household.
Like, the dynamics of the house, the women run that. Like,
right.
If you come to my house, when y'all come to my house, like, it's a relish run that. Honestly, like,
I hate to say it,
like,
but relish is scary.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but I get it.
I'm the man of the house, and we, you know, but she runs the house though.
Right, like
how dynamics is it? So you know, I'm just piggybacking on what you're saying. Like,
right.
Having that voice, having that thing, it's important.
Yeah, it's important.
The women, in my opinion, kind of run the house and run like.
We
how
execute.
The
I feel like they like the coach and we like the players. Like they run the plays and we just go out there and execute.
That's all. But no, let me stop.
I don't know. That's what I feel, man.
But that may be true. I mean, to each household is own. But all I wanted to do was to make sure that Marcy had an equal voice as I did. Now, you know, I mean, I'm not ashamed to say she does run this household. She dictates, you know, I just give her money, the bills get paid. I just, you know what I'm saying?
I gotta pay the bills.
See, that's your strength. My strength is not paying bills.
Yeah,
Marcy is good at paying the bills on time and stuff like that. I'm like, girl, we can wait till the 33rd. The bill due on the 1st, we can wait till the 31st.
I
Can't
thought
wait.
you just said the 33rd.
I mean, we can wait till the 33rd, too.
When that late fee kick in.
Day before that.
We can do it day before the late fee.
Like, look, we
Day
got
before you
time.
report it to the credit.
I don't like paying none of that shit.
But don't y'all think it's also important to not get hung up on rules? Like sometimes we like,
Right.
Yes, because
we
the roles
gotta
are
both be
fluid.
chameleons. Like we've got to like both parties
Yes.
are equally invested in each other, and when someone can't, like sometimes our mental health gets in the way, sometimes our
Exactly.
physical health gets in the way.
Exactly.
Sometimes we're just
I agree with that.
different people. Sometimes we're the same people.
And I was
Sometimes we're on the same
gonna
page.
mention that
And-
too, Eric. The roles are fluid. Because I am good, because I am the better cook, doesn't mean I'm always going to be the better cook.
Or the
right?
cook. Period.
Or the
Or
cook,
the cook,
period.
right.
Because she's good at paying the bill doesn't mean that she always pay the bill. I pay them sometimes.
Well, I think someone should always be able to step in and do it and not be
And
like,
that's
that's your
how you-
responsibility. And if it doesn't happen,
Right.
it's
I
on
don't-
you and it's
I
your
don't watch
fault.
this.
And that can only
I don't
happen in
know
a
how to-
trusting relationship where you trust the
Right.
other person to
It's
pick up your
fluid
slack
like
when
a
you fuck up.
motherfucker.
Exactly.
It's
Right.
fluid like a motherfucker.
And that needs to be forgiving
yeah.
because we're all gonna fuck up.
Right.
And
No one's on a
sometimes-
pedestal.
Yes.
Right.
And sometimes sometimes we are going to fuck up. And sometimes we're going to make mistakes, but it's just nice to also have somebody to have your back. That's
what a partnership is.
what a
Yeah,
partnership is.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Straight from the Horse's Mouth podcast. As always, you can email us your opinions at sfthmpodcast@gmail.com. That's sfthmpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can hit us up on our social media platforms at sfthm podcast on Twitter and sfthm podcast on Instagram. And for Sean P, for Lean,
What up, what up?
and for our special guest that stepped in for us today, for Eric, I am Black, and thank you for listening. And as Rick James would say, enjoy yourself. Peace.
These motherfuckers can't comprehend the way. Load the burners and bullets to accommodate your brain. Don't be fucking with them boys. Hammers, we shoot them off. The cannons be blowing soft. Ow. See, it's like, who are they? They never shoot the graves. Motherfuckers just hung stunting like they were Super Dave. Stop a nigga dead in his tracks. Bought him from the airport. Left him dead and relaxed. Smoking from the Air Force. Spotted him greasy. I'm spawned for my riches. Watch how easy Bigger Valley be bumping on you bitches. And I ain't showing no remorse. Watch them niggas, they bleed while we stress and go in the cold. Watch them niggas, they squeeze, pat, pat. You better duck when them letting the guns go. Watch your bitches, your money, keep your eye on my heart, though. Stay on your grind, my nigga, you want go. Tryna go. Tell me something that I don't know. Bird ain't even shining good, but now they be really in the hood. Tell me something that I don't know. They don't wanna see us shine, see us grind, see a nigga doing good. Tell me something that I don't know. All these trees, all these views, all this cheese, got a nigga feeling good. Tell me something that I don't know. I don't know where you niggas from, but I can tell you that I'm from the hood. Tell me something
Tell
that
me
I don't
something
know.
I don't know. Like when we leave, we can't come back. Or that block ain't ours, and we can't eat when we come back. Or sleep when we come back, cause them cowboys on us. Or feds wanna close the case that they building on us. Tell us you happy for us, and you ain't mad that the coupon. 2 fours in that wagon I drive's a 2-tone. Fuck if I don't fit in, be happy I stand out. Looking for handouts, like we giving grams out. Pardon, let me curb my enthusiasm. They never take you serious when they know that you be rapping. And they don't know you first till you raise the toolie at them. And everybody curves till they know what truly happened. Truthfully, I'm overwhelmed with the life I wanna share. But selfish I'm supposed to be, so y'all don't wanna hear. You give a fuck about your opinion and views. Shit, I'm begging for a reason. Please
Tell me something that I don't know. Bird ain't even shining good, but now they be really in the hood. Tell me something that I don't know. They don't wanna see us shine, see us grind, see a nigga doing good. Tell me something that I don't know. All these trees, all these views, all this cheese, got a nigga feeling good. Tell me something that I don't know. I don't know where you niggas from, but I can tell you that I'm from the hood. Tell me something that I don't know.
The views on Straight from the Horse's Mouth podcast do not represent any of our advertisers unless they like it.